Okay. Final pay-per-view of the year. Final pay-per-view of the year. TLC. I'm glad I'm a little bit more better to do this review, because 2 days ago I did not feel good. I really didn't feel good, but with a lot of medicine being took and stuff, I do feel better enough to do this review. But TLC final pay-per-view of the year for WWE. What is there to say? Wow. You know, we're going to talk about a lot of things, though. We're going to talk about the good. We're going to talk about the bad. And we're going to talk about the downright bullshit that happened in this show. But yes, TLC. With a pay-per-view with not a lot of build on here, to be honest, what is there to say? What is there to say? What are they, Minneapolis, Minnesota tonight? And I'm glad the show ended about 9:15, because I'm just glad it didn't go to wait 10 o'clock, because this show already felt long as it did anyway, so at least this gave a little bit shorter time to get through. It still ended like about 9:15, so it felt long, but at least it ended a little bit shorter and everything, because this pay-per-view, my God. Like I said, there's a lot of good and bad to this, and we're going to go through every single part of it, so there's a lot to say about it in this show, and, you know, some things I liked and some things I didn't like, but at least I am in a little bit better condition to do this review now, because I felt like shit for the past few days. Very bad, but with a lot of medicine being took, like I said before, I do feel better. But this is the TLC pay-per-view, the final WWE pay-per-view, or maybe just wrestling pay-per-view of, you know, this year. Because there's been a lot of pay-per-views this weekend, from Ring of Honor, if you watched that, or NWA Into the Fire, if you watched that. I kind of finished watching that earlier today. I know I didn't do any reviews for that, probably should have, but, you know, NWA is probably... I had an okay time watching NWA, I did. But, Ring of Honor, that's a different story. But TLC, though, what do I have to say about this? Now, I did miss the pre-show. I was at the store at the time, so I didn't see it. I heard about the Humberto and Almas match. I heard it was good, so I'm gonna take some people's word for that. I heard it was a really good match, but I don't know what happened to Almas's face. I just saw a lot of blood. I saw a picture of it. I don't know what got him cut throughout that thing, but it did look nasty. I just know Humberto won, and then they was pretty much still teasing a breakup with Almas and Vega. I don't know if that's a good idea or not still, as a lot of people said too, because I feel like both of them are going to be stuck, almost like stuck like fish if you break both of them up. Listen, there's a reason why they have Vega as the manager to Almas. I've said that even to people. I'm sure people can say that since NXT, because, come on, remember when they had him as a face in NXT, and it didn't work because the guy like a Chippendales dancer with fucking suspenders and a fedora hat on. But they put Vega with him, and at least I got somewhere, because I don't think Almas's English is that good. I don't know still at this time, but he needed a manager to get him over and everything. So still not really the idea of breaking them up though. And even Almas taking 2 L's to Humberto. I know some people will say that, oh well, at least they didn't do 50-50 booking and whatnot, but should Almas really be losing like that? I don't know, but they are pulling the story of them arguing with each other and breaking up, so we'll see what comes from that. But like I said, I didn't see this match. I was at the store at the time, so by the time I got back home, the actual show was on, and we did kick it off with the New Day versus the Revival and a ladder match for the SmackDown tag titles. This was actually a really good match. I enjoyed this match. Crazy shit going on in here, alright? And I didn't know it was a ladder match. I honestly didn't know that, but this was fun. Of course, they're going to get the ladders involved. I know the Revival used it on both the New Day, even hitting Big E in the nuts with it. One thing I did like that was a really cool spot was when Kofi was on top of the ladder. Revival pushed him down. Kofi just lands on the, he lands on the ropes, then springboards it, and then, like, hits a tornado DDT on Wilder. On Dawson then. So it's a really cool spot if you go back and look it up. But the springboard back into the ring, doing a tornado DDT looked cool. He did a Trouble in Paradise on Dash Wilder then. Kofi started climbing the ladder, but the Revival did, take him off, hit a shatter machine on him then. Biggie ended up doing a spear on a Wilder through the ropes. Looks freaking nasty, by the way. Fans chanted, "This is awesome." Then Biggie got the ladders. Then he started setting them up. You know, one on the turnbuckle on that bridge-like thing. So I'm sure y'all know what's gonna happen, which Biggie kind of climbs up the position with that ladder, and y'all know where this spot is gonna go into. By the way. But yeah, set the ladders up. You know, Biggie started climbing. They pretty much take him down, the Revival, onto that ladder then. And the ladder did not break all the way when Biggie landed on it. So, pretty much Dawson, he does a splash onto the ladder then. The ladder goes through. Pretty much, you know, they go through the ladder then. The Revival then start climbing the ladders again, going back up there. But next thing you know, Kofi stops him, springboarding up there then, pretty much trying to fight him off. Big E recovered in time. He got up on the ladder then. Pretty much hit a big ending on Dawson. All the way to the ground, which looked pretty brutal, I will say that. But it did look cool at the same time. Kofi was still hanging on the ropes because he was hanging backwards with his legs still caught in there. Wilder was going for the titles then, but Kofi was able to get out of it. Pretty much take the belts from up top, hit Wilder then in the face as he fell to the ground. Pretty much the New Day still retained the Tag Team Championship. So pretty much a good ladder match. Very fun, crazy shit going on in there. I like this. This was a bright spot throughout the night, okay? That was something I did like about this show. Next, there's another match I also enjoyed that I thought which was great. Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy. Of course, I know it's some weird shit with this feud. I'm just glad they finally got Black out of the damn boiler room closet and got him into a match, and this was with Buddy Murphy. And I knew these two were going to put on a great match in general, so I just wanted to see. Of course, as this match did start, though, you know, Murphy was kind of imitating Black's entrance a little as he was out there sitting, as, you know, Black had to go to the other part of the ropes and, you know, go in and pretty much does this whole, you know, cross-legs sitting there thing, staring at him then. But this was fun to watch. A lot of crazy stuff going on. I know Black was bleeding at one point as I think Murphy put his head to the steel steps, which they kept saying he may have a broken nose, which kind of looked like it in a way. He may have a broken nose then. He was bleeding. Murphy had a lot of offense throughout this match, I will say that. Black did come back, get him with a kick and on the top rope and everything. He was about to do something, but Murphy ended up kicking him into the middle rope then, you know, kind of staggering him. Black was pretty much hanging upside down. Murphy hit the cheeky Nando's on him about 3 times, kicking him in the face, hit him with a big power bomb, good near fall from there. Murphy pretty much got him up there and was about to go for the Kamigoye, you know, that no knee to the face thing. It's basically Kota Ibushi's finisher, but, you know, Kamigoye and whatnot. Well, Black pretty much blocked it then. Murphy came back with a V-trigger, hit him with the Kamigoye, and then a brain bust up on another near fall that looked pretty cool, too. Pretty much as, you know, they both got up then, pretty much trading kicks back and forth. Murphy had stomped on his foot, about to go for another kick, but Black out of nowhere hits the Black Mask, getting the win. So, very great match out there. Hopefully we see more of this in the future and whatnot, if this feud continues. But the Black Mask out of nowhere looked cool as hell, and this was enjoyable. I liked this match a lot. I thought it was the shit. It was pretty cool. So that was a fun match. I really did like it. Hopefully, you know, they do more with these two, because they're just kind of standing around there, if you ask me. But at least we saw something out of this, and this was another bright spot throughout the show, which kind of had the crowd into it also. Pretty much then right after we went to the Viking Raiders that were inside of the ring then, or they started talking about KFC, which these fans won, so they get to sat at ringside eating this KFC food. I saw it was chicken out there, mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese. I think some green beans out there. They had all KFC food. KFC is pretty good though, but they all had KFC food out there. They were eating as, you know, they had an open challenge then. Fans started to chant war. And as they start chanting war and whatnot, next thing you know, the OC come out with their big trophy. They won back in Saudi Arabia, Gallows and Anderson. Pretty much since they were the first team to beat, the War Raiders there. I guess they were going to go for the titles, and since it was an open challenge, hey, they must have thought this was World Tag League, and they were challenging for the titles, because I believe Gallows and Anderson have won World Tag League. I think Anderson's won 2 of them, but yeah, you know, World Tag League and whatnot, and they're facing its champions. These are two teams I've seen face each other in New Japan before, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see what's good from this, huh? Listen, this is a match you probably would have seen on Raw, and the match was okay, nothing that bad. I know they hit Thor's hammer on I think Anderson, but I think Gallows broke it up. They fought to the outside. I know they threw Hanson over not Hanson, Rowe over the barricade, and then Hanson hit the suicide dive on both of them. And then what happens? You get a double count out. Pretty much the finish was bad. Fans start chanting bullshit then. Well, who could blame them? And after they chanted bullshit, they chanted that, and pretty much they cleared the KFC table then, since, you know, the people picked up their food and whatnot. But they cleared the KFC table, Gallows and Anderson. They were about to put one of the War Raiders through there, but they broke it up, and they ended up putting Carl Anderson through the table then. So it's not much to say about this match. Honestly, this is just a random match in general to begin with, because, you know, it's random as hell that no one knew. But hey, this is an open challenge. You give us this bullshit finish. I guess you have to protect both teams or whatever, whatnot. Maybe you want to save this for in the future if you do have a title match and whatnot. But this was a no contest. Excuse me, the crowd just shitted all over this when they got that finish, but this was just random, and this was just a way to promote KFC. That's all they were really doing out here too. This is just to promote KFC, pretty much say, hey, buy our food and whatnot. So what do you want me to go from this? Okay, what do you want me to go from this? Just random match, basically. Okay, and let's promote KFC. Our next TLC match. Sorry, I'm still a little sick here, people. Still a little sick. But TLC match. Roman versus Corbin. I'm surprised this was not the main event of this show, knowing this company. But, of course, what were you going to get from this? Oh, there's a lot of shit to say about this match, too, okay? There's a lot to say about this. Eventually, Corbin came out. He cut a promo about Roman bending the knee. Of course, he has his entire security team with him. Roman comes out. He says to the security team, up the ramp, which Roman just starts knocking them down like bowling pins then. Picks up one of them, puts him through one of the tables that was on top of the stage. I don't think he went through the table all the way, but he went through it in general. Corbin started charging at Roman in with a chair. Roman dodged it, punched him off, you know. Fought him back down the stage then. But yeah, they fought eventually back into the ring. I know he threw it back out the ring then. Roman did, after, you know, he pretty much brawled him at one point. Basically, Roman was about to go outside and get Corbin in, but Corbin hit him with a can of dog food. Hit him with a choke slam, you know, backbreaker for a near fall in. They went back outside then to the announce tables. Basically, Roman did a Samoan drop on, I think it was the German announce table then, on Corbin outside then. Pretty much got in a little... pretty much, he pretty much hit the... Yeah, like I say, he had a Samoan drop on him. And, you know, he did his little war cry and whatnot. Ziggler comes from out of nowhere, which I don't know where he was hiding. They say he was under the ring, but he hits a super kick on him then. So now Ziggler is involved in this match, taking out Corbin, and they start punching at him and whatnot. Next thing you know, they're about to do the same thing they did on SmackDown with the handcuffs and the dog food and whatnot. For some reason, though, Ziggler and Corbin walk like... It's like they look like they were in position for this, okay? They look like they were getting ready for their cue in position right here. They walk near one of these security guys and whatnot. Roman comes from out of nowhere, hits the drive-by kick on him because they were in position for that, to be honest. Takes both of them out, gets the kendo stick in, starts hitting Corbin and, you know, Ziggler with it. Security guys try to jump over there and try to get him in. He starts beating them with the kendo stick. Next thing you know, the Revival come out then. And, you know, he starts trying to hit them with the kendo stick. But they got Roman in the ring trying to get him, but Roman took him out. Everybody's outside then. Roman does his big dive on everyone out there, like 12, 13 freaking guys out there or whatnot. And he lands on all of them. And he finally gets Corbin back in the ring. He's about to go for the spear on Corbin. Next you know, Ziggler, doing his best Sabu impression he can, throws a chair at Roman's face. Then after that, hits a zigzag on him. Then the Revival hit the Shatter Machine. Corbin hits the end of the days on a chair, and the match is over. So yes, it took 12 guys. You want to talk about overbooking in this match? I know it's a TLC match and anything goes, but it took 12 guys. It took 12 guys to beat one guy. This is basically, let's make Roman look strong as possible, except this time, we're not going to have him beat the odds and just, you know, beat everybody out there. It just took Corbin and 11 other guys to beat him. So he needed Ziggler, he needed the Revival, he needed all these random security guys getting thrown around like sack of potatoes on roller skates just to beat Roman Reigns, okay? That's what they were there for. They were there to do all of that. So, number one, no one wants to see this feud continue, of course, which I'm not done with this feud because we're going to see more of it throughout the night. So you think it was over from here? No, it's not over by a long shot. You're going to see more of this feud because more of it is going to happen, okay? And it took 12 guys. It took 12 freaking guys to beat one guy. And like, what did the announcer say? Roman has no friends in the back. Yes, where are his friends, huh? Why did nobody come to help him, okay? Why did nobody come to help him? Huh? Where's the New Day? They fought the Revival early in the night. Where's Mustafa Ali? They fought the Revival last Friday. They've had problems with Corbin. Where's Chad Gable, Shorty G out there? Why didn't he come out and help? Where were the faces? This goes back to an argument a lot of people make. The heels always beat up everybody and the faces have no friends, okay? The faces apparently have no friends out there. No one comes to save them. It took 12 guys to beat up one guy. I thought the New Day would have came out. But hey, we're not done with that yet. So we're going to get back into more of this feud because it continues. Maybe we'll bring dogs into this time. What's it going to be next? The dog kennel from Hell match? I may be jumping the gun saying that, but knowing this company, they may do that. We've involved dogs in this feud the entire time. Yo, I should go get my dog right now and ask her, do you want to be in the match next? Huh? But I'm not going to bring my dog on the camera on here. Maybe another time I will, okay? But I don't think this dog, my own dog, wouldn't want to be part of this match. And I swear to God, they did a dog kennel from Hell match. Man, you need to call up Vince Russo and do that. Do Al Snow and freaking, you know, Bossman back in 98 and whatnot. But come on, let's not jump to the conclusion that can hire Vince Russo. Hey, maybe they will hire Vince Russo. This company's hiring anybody nowadays. So, bro, I swear to God, bro, it could happen here and whatnot. So they could hire him, okay? But yes, this feud continues. It is not over, folks. It continues, and it does not stop. All right, so took 12 guys to beat one guy. 12 guys to beat one person. But it's not the typical Roman beating the odds, so it continues. But next, we move on to The Miz versus Bray Wyatt. Miz comes out literally to no freaking reaction, by the way. I don't think people give a shit about the Miz in general. He goes against Bray Wyatt. This was not The Fiend. This was his Mr. Rogers, you know, Playhouse, Funhouse, sweater vest Bray Wyatt. I have one positive note to put in this match. This is the first positive here. I'm glad I do not have to look at that stupid red light. So that is already a positive from me, so I am happy with that. No red light, so that's good with me and whatnot. Fans did chant Yowie Wowie, and Wyatt did kind of wake the crowd because that was the only person they really cared for was Wyatt. Basically, the match is this: Miz is beating up Wyatt throughout most of the match. He does not fight back. He basically just laughs and everything. And I guess his shoulder was out of place that he popped it back into the barricade, slamming it into there. You know, recovering himself. Miz charged at him into Wyatt. Wyatt dodged it. He ran to the barricade. Wyatt got him onto the barricade. Hit the Sister Abigail. Got him back in the ring before the 2 count. And hit the sister. Excuse me. He hit the Sister Abigail again, beating Miz. So, yeah, basically Miz hit his finisher and beat him up throughout most of the entire match, but he pretty much lost in like 2 moves, so why is he even in this? Because I don't think people gave a shit about Miz in general, but he is involved in this feud, though, to involve this story. But next thing you know, The Fiend shows up on the screen there, and he says, oh, you want me to? And whatnot. And he says, I'll do it. He grabs his giant Harley Quinn-like mallet out there. He's about to smash his head in, but next thing you know, the lights go out. And who shows up? Someone in a red hoodie. It is hey, Bryan Danielson is here. The return of Bryan Danielson, or the American Dragon right there, which I'm sure people are going to say that right now because he looks like ROH Daniel Bryan. But he pretty much looks like Daniel Bryan like he did in this company damn near 10 years ago in the year 2010 when he showed up at NXT. So, doesn't look like that different from before he grew out all his hair. I know people had a lot of concerns over this to why they need to cut his hair to begin with during this feud. Even I kind of said this myself, like, so we're really going to cut his hair? Okay, so he's ROH Daniel Bryan again. At least it's not mostly like, you know, it's not like he shaved his head bald all the way, and now he's just got a short haircut. But he showed up, he had a running knee on him. He starts stomping on Wyatt and kicking him then. Fans chanting Daniel Bryan, and yes, he was about to take the mallet then and slam Wyatt with it, but the lights went dark. He disappeared, so I guess the Fiend saved him as fans pretty much celebrated with Daniel Bryan then. So, yes, he looks like Bryan Danielson out there. He's got the haircut. You might as well call him the American Dragon again. Or he's 2010, 2011 Daniel Bryan or whatnot when he first got into this company. So, hey, you can always grow it back. It'll come back one day. He cut it before when he had to stop wrestling. He grew it back in under a year or two. So, he can always grow it back. Or maybe he wants to keep it that way. I don't know. But this was probably one of the best segments out of the entire night. I felt that's when the show peaked. It probably did peak from there. Where do we go next, though, huh? Pretty much right after that. But yeah, as the excuse me. As that ended, we then went to this TMZ-like promo. This was basically an entire episode of TMZ next, due to the Rusev, Lana, and Bobby Lashley storyline. They made everything look like it was on TMZ, from, you know, fake pregnancies, to divorce, to who's ever fucking who. And listen, I don't give a shit about TMZ in general. We all know they tell a lot of lies anyways about people in whatever story. They're just looking for clout and clicks. But I'm not going to get into that right now. They can call that Harvey guy anytime. But, hey, anybody believes anything on TMZ half the time what they do. Come on, I don't even get into the shit they lie about in the past. But, they made this all look like a TMZ commercial. This was a tables match. I will say this, fans did chant sloppy seconds at Lana and Lashley. I thought that was pretty funny. So not much to say from this. People are going to say that Rusev is over. I'm sure people don't give a crap about the story in general. But apparently it is getting over on the internet or whatnot. And fans, they keep getting high views and everything. But, you know, not Lashley, but everybody said Rusev is over and fans chant for him. It looked like Lashley, I mean, Rusev is enjoying this. I like how he said, like, hey, at least I got to pay no alimony no more. It's my divorce ex-wife. So, I don't have to pay no alimony checks to her. But, basically, this match ended with Lana climbing on top of Rusev. Bobby Lashley went for a spear, which the table did not break. I'm sure that'll end up on an episode of Botchamania, but I will say one thing, they recovered from that quickly, and Lashley ended up doing a belly-to-belly on the table from behind them onto Rusev, winning this tables match. So at least they did recover very fast without going too bad for the crowd start shitting all over it, because you saw how the fans were reacting. But like, hey, there's a table right there, put it through them as fast as possible. Guess I still don't feel good. But as I was saying, though, this feud continues. I'm sure nobody wants to see that one also. So, hey, there's 2 feuds you don't want to see continue tonight. The one with Rusev and Lashley, and I'm sure with Corbin and Roman. But moving on after that, they went to the Street Profits then, cutting some promo. All I know is that Dawkins was pretty much, I guess, comparing Lashley and Lana to the movie Get Out, because, you know, he started bringing up the sunken place. Like, listen, if you've seen the movie and you know what he's talking about, you'll know what he's talking about, okay? So if you've seen the movie Get Out, then you'll understand it, all right? But the Street Profits were cutting the promo until they pretty much panned the camera where Roman and Corbin were brawling, including several other people from the Revival, the New Day, Ziggler and others, and you know, then I'm seeing Buddy Murphy and Chad Gable and whatnot there. This random brawl, and in the Street Profits, they just look around like, well, what do we do? Like, they just start jumping anybody. It looked like I think they were stepping on Murphy, so it's like, okay, we're the faces, so let's help the faces. So they just start jumping. They start jumping the freaking Ziggler didn't. Not Ziggler. Murphy didn't, because they're the faces. Like, it's like, well, what do we do? We just can't stand around and do nothing. So they just got involved to get involved, start stomping on folks. But then we got to the main event. Tag titles on the line. Asuka and Kairi, Kabuki Warriors versus Charlotte and Becky. Listen, this main event, woof. This was long. I felt like this was very dragging. It really did kind of start to drag for a while. I'm kind of surprised they let the women main event 2 pay-per-views in a row, especially after what happened in Survivor Series. I know the women did main event TLC last year, but I'm sure people are thinking right now that was a better match last year with TLC. This here, right here, I've said this before about the women, and I had this conversation with my friend on the phone. Listen, if you're gonna put the women in the main event, have some meaning to it, okay? But don't just put them in the main event just to put them in the main event, because that doesn't make sense. I already questioned why they put him in the main event, in the TLC, not TLC, but the Survivor Series review. I didn't think it should have been the main event for several reasons, and you can go look that up if you like. But I was just like, okay, so the main event in the show, huh? I kind of thought Roman and them would have, but they are the only other TLC match also, at least with titles. So I guess they were going to main event, but I would say this: there was just a lot of brutal spots in this match. Some things that didn't make sense from logic standpoints on what they did. I enjoyed Kairi Sane trying to throw chairs into the ring, which she could not do it all the way, but I thought it was still funny in general. But Charlotte throws one chair at her, and she's dead on the ground all the way. But a lot of this match was with them on the outside. There was a bull rope involved with Asuka swinging around that looked pretty cool. They had a fire extinguisher. Started spraying Charlotte and Becky with it. Which, by the way, now this is something that doesn't make sense. They tied Becky to the ladder, right? They tied her to the ladder. Both of Asuka and Kairi climb up the ladder. But you leave Charlotte out there. No one's watching the rear or watching, one of their backs. Like, okay, I'll climb and you watch. Basically, Charlotte comes in with a chair, starts beating both women down, and with a kendo stick, too. So why would you just tie up Becky and forget about the other one and start going for the titles, which I feel like they were trying to stall for a second until Charlotte came back with the chair. So, basically, though, Charlotte stopped them, got them to the outside. She went to untie Becky. I think she threw Asuka through a table and that, but she went to untie Becky. Asuka came and hit a chair on her back then, and you could hear Charlotte say, "Oh, fuck." Becky got on her own then, because she ended up dodging the insane elbow on the ladder from, Kairi through the table. And she started taking down both of them, clotheslining them, taking them out. Basically, Asuka and Kairi, they had a table, then they set up a table, and they put Asuka there. Becky does her big leg drop from the apron onto them. They were about to double suplex Kairi onto the table, but she hit a DDT on them. And then pretty much at the table ringside and everything, Charlotte had hit a spear on her, which didn't look that good. And she hit a power bomb on Kairi through a table then. Next thing you know, Asuka comes back and hits her with a German suplex then after that. And then she tried to bury Asuka in multiple chairs and a ladder on her. Help Kairi get in the ring. Have her pretty much, watch this as she went to get the titles in. But Becky and Charlotte pretty much got back and They started hitting him with chairs that, you know, which the crowd started to boo. And my friend texted me during this match, too. I don't know if it's because they didn't like the faces or because the chair shots looked weak as fuck when they had to stop them. But the crowd started booing because I think they were starting to turn on this match. Like I said, it just started to drag for a while, if you ask me. This was basically a street fight, if you want to put that, because this was mostly brawling. But they do the chair shots that did not look good. Asuka powerbomb Charlotte onto a table outside. Then I don't know if she's gonna go for that moonsault or that. Becky had to explore a suplex on the Asuka then, and she was gonna go for the titles. But one thing I did like about this is like one only small little parts I like. Asuka grabbed the bull rope because the bull rope was attached to that ladder, the tall ladder, and she pretty much pulled the ladder, knocking Becky off of it to the ground. And Asuka pretty much grabbed the titles as the Kabuki Warriors retained them. But, hey, let's fuck the women for a second. Forget them. Where we go to? We got to go back to Roman and crew as soon as it's over, okay? So they go back to Roman, Corbin, and more people join this brawl as they brawled into the crowd and whatnot. And Roman and you know, Corbin fought on, like, the, you know, like one of the upper levels and whatnot. Roman spearing Corbin off of it onto nearly, you know, 20, 30 guys out there. So, hey, let's not end the show with the women with the tag titles. Let's end the show with Roman because we have to. Which I thought, like, hey, maybe he was the main event after all. Now that I think about it, I say I'm surprised they didn't put him in the main event. What do? They have him somewhat involved in the main event. So, one way or another, Roman is still involved in the main event. Okay? He's still in the main event. So, what do you want me to say from that? But the TLC match, man, listen, they did what they could and they worked hard, but I don't think people started to care. I think it started to drag on. This almost reminded me of the damn PCO and Rush match from the other night on Ring of Honor, and I saw how long that went and whatnot with all that hardcore stuff. That just kind of, you know, wasn't that good all the way. So, I don't know why they put them back in the main event, to be honest, but just a lot of it was just kind of a basic street fight hardcore match, you know, and everything. There was some brutal spots and whatnot, but I don't think it was the greatest the one they had last year, and I just think it was there. And given the people involved, you think it'd be a better match. Looking at all four of these women, you expect a better thing from this. I didn't hate it all the way, but it's some of it just wasn't that good. I just felt it dragged. It went on for 26 minutes out there in the main event, okay? But it was just like, hey, let's go back to Roman because we got to have Roman out there one way or another to get him over in the end. So, yeah, where do you want to go from this? But, you know, overall, this is a show that really didn't have much build. It really didn't. And what do you want me to take from this? It didn't have a lot of build to it, okay? It just wasn't that great. It was just there. I'm not saying everything was bad on the show. I like the Buddy and you know, Black match. I like the New Day and the Revival. I like the Miz and Wyatt segment, you know, due to Bryan coming out and whatnot. Roman versus 12 guys, take it or leave it, but I just don't really care. Rusev and Lashley or whatever, but this is just them trying to push whatever TMZ bullshit logic they're going with. I didn't understand the open challenge because we got to promote KFC. And the main event, I don't know, man. The main event, I just felt like it could have been a little bit better. Like I said, some nice brutal spots, but that's basically what this was, and logic gaps and whatnot of, you know, who's climbing the ladder and whatnot, but we just had to get Roman throughout multiple times of the night. So this was a show with not a lot of build. It just really was not a lot of build for the show. They did not take time. It's like, hey, we'll take our time. We'll just wait till the Rumble, then we'll start the real work. So this was technically the last pay-per-view of this year. Take it how you like it, I guess. I don't know. I've already seen this is like the third wrestling pay-per-view I've seen this weekend, okay? So, going into this, I knew it wasn't going to be good. Like I said, you had your bright spots through this, and maybe the pre-show too, if I go back and look at that. But you had your bright spots, but you still saw bullshit on this show at the same time, okay? So that's my review of this TLC 2019 review, okay? So I'm done with the TLC review. I'm out of here. Comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about this show. Follow me on Twitter, HoodofNight890. Check out any other past reviews on the show right now. Like I said, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 you know, etc., etc. So, you know, other than that, yeah, this, you know, like I said, everybody said, blah, 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 fuck Lifetime. I need to go take care of this cold. I'm still a bit sick, so I still got to take some more medicine, it looks like. But yeah, this is the TLC review. So yeah, other than that, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. We'll see you back for tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw review. So other than that, I still got Christmas shopping to do. So see you guys later. Happy holidays.